Have you ever felt like your own brain has been hijacked? You know the feeling. You're overwhelmed, you can't focus, and it seems like your own thoughts are actually working against you? Well, you are definitely not alone. In this crazy, hyperstimulated world we live in, feeling anxious and distracted has almost become the new normal. But what if I told you that you could take back the controls? That you could build a practical toolkit to tame that anxious brain? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do in this explainer. Let's get started. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down why our brains get hijacked in the first place. Then, we'll tackle why just telling someone to calm down is probably the worst advice ever. After that, we dive straight into the toolkit. We're talking physical hacks to reset your body's hardware, mental tricks to totally reframe your reality, and finally, a huge mindset shift that'll help you beat the fear of rejection for good. All right, part one, the hijacked brain. Now, if you struggle with focus, I really want you to hear this loud and clear. This is not some kind of personal failing. It's not a weakness. It's actually a biological mismatch between our ancient brain wiring and the wild digital world we live in today. I mean, come on, let's be honest. This question right here, it's everything, isn't it? The endless scroll on your phone feels completely effortless, but trying to do focused work feels like climbing a mountain. So what's going on here? Well, the reason for this crazy mismatch comes down to one single really powerful brain chemical. Yep, it's dopamine. Your brain is basically a dopamine-seeking missile. And our modern apps, they are engineered to be a nonstop, all-you-can-eat buffet of it. Every single swipe, every like, every notification is a tiny instant reward, a little hit. And when you compare that to slow, effortful tasks like studying, well, the reward for that is way off in the future. It feels almost painful to a brain that's gotten used to a fire hose of constant stimulation. Our dopamine baseline is just set way, way too high. Okay, so let's move on and see how this all connects. When that anxious, overwhelmed feeling hits, what's the very first thing people say to you? Just calm down, right? It's the most common piece of advice out there, and it is also, without a doubt, the most useless. Let's look at the actual neuroscience to understand why. This insight from Mel Robbins is a complete and total game changer. What she points out is that from your body's perspective, the physical feelings of being terrified and the physical feelings of being excited are exactly the same. The only difference is the label your brain decides to slap on those feelings, and this slide just proves the point perfectly. I mean, look at this comparison. Whether you're about to give the speech of your life or get on the world's biggest roller coaster, your body's physical reaction is identical. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, you get that surge of cortisol. The only thing that changes is the story your brain tells itself. Is this a threat or is this a thrill? So this is why trying to force yourself from that high energy state of anxiety all the way down to a low energy state of calm, it's like trying to stop a speeding freight train by just standing in front of it. It is neurologically almost impossible. The smarter move isn't to try and stop the train, but to switch the tracks and redirect all of that powerful energy somewhere else. And this brings us to the first part of our practical toolkit, hacking your hardware. See, instead of trying to think our way out of anxiety, which we just saw is a losing battle, we're going to use simple physical techniques. This is what you call a bottom-up approach. We calm the body down first, which then sends safety signals up to the brain. Okay, this right here, this is the fastest, hardwired way known to science to calm your nervous system, like right now. That double inhale, it pops open all the tiny little air sacs in your lungs. And then the long, slow exhale gets rid of the maximum amount of carbon dioxide, which basically sends an instant signal to your brain to relax. Seriously, try it right now with me. It just works. Another incredibly powerful bottom-up tool is grounding. You see, anxiety loves to live in the future, worrying about what might happen. Or it gets stuck in the past, ruminating on what did happen. This little exercise yanks your attention right back to the safety of the present moment. By methodically going through your senses, you're forcing your brain to see that right here, right now, I am okay. Okay, so once you've used those physical hacks to take the immediate edge off the panic, now you can move on to our top-down mental techniques. These are all about changing the story your brain is telling you about what's happening. So here's how you actually put this into practice. The second you feel that anxiety starting to build, you interrupt that emotional spiral. You count backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That simple action shifts you out of your primitive brain and into your thinking brain. In that little gap you just created, you plant a positive anchor thought of things going well. And then, and this is the most important part, you say out loud, I'm excited. You are literally giving all that nervous energy a brand new job. And here are 2 more quick-fire reframes for you. If your brain just won't shut up at night, give it an appointment. Literally schedule 15 minutes of worry time during the day. Then when anxious thoughts pop up at bedtime, you can just tell your brain, nope, not now. We'll deal with this at our 5 p.m. meeting. And if you're still awake, switch from the scarcity mindset of worry to the abundance mindset of gratitude. Listing things you're thankful for actually turns off that fear response. All right, for our final section, we're going to zoom all the way out. We're moving from managing in-the-moment feelings to a complete overhaul of your mindset. This is about changing our relationship with one of the biggest drivers of anxiety out there, the fear of failure and rejection. This idea right here on the slide, this is the whole key. We are so terrified of hearing the word no. We treat it like it's some final judgment on our self-worth. But what if it isn't? What if every single no you get is just proof that you were brave enough to put yourself out there? It's not the opposite of success, it's a mandatory stepping stone on the way to success. And this concept of sorting instead of persuading, this is so powerful. Imagine you're not trying to convince anyone of anything. You are simply sorting through options to find the people who are already a yes. It takes all the pressure off. Think about it like a giant gumball machine. So let's say this machine is full of gumballs, right? 90% of them are red, those are the no's, and 10% are blue, those are the yeses. Now, your job is not to take a red gumball and try to force it to become blue. That's exhausting and it's impossible. Your only job is to keep turning the crank, sorting through the red ones until a blue one finally comes out. And suddenly, every no isn't a failure, it's just another turn of the handle that's getting you closer to your next yes. So, the most important thing I want you to walk away with is this. Your brain isn't broken. It's just been hijacked by a world it was never designed for. But now, you have the toolkit. By hacking your body, reframing your mind, and focusing on action over outcomes, you have everything you need to take back the controls. So the only question left is, are you ready to get started?